Hello everyone, thanks for watching my 3-parts video titled How to Have a Smart Children Who Are Happy and Confident, 3 Strategies which Parents Can Adopt at Home. Today is the first video. Before I start, let me introduce myself. I'm Zoe. I'm the founder of Surprise Your Children. I help busy parents of children 3 to 6 who wants to bring out the best in their children but have no idea where to start and how to start. Okay, a little bit about myself. I have 2 boys, aged 4 and 1. Gerald is 4 and Graydon is 1. Both my boys are really active boys and physical boys. I'm constantly finding ways to stimulate their learnings. I used to be a very frustrated mom back then 4 years ago. As a first-time mom, a lot of times I get a lot of advice from different sources. Okay, as a first-time mom, I read a lot. I read from internet, from book to books, and different sources give me different informations. At that time, I was really overwhelmed with informations. I tried from one approach to another approach. It seems work and it seems doesn't work. Sometimes it's okay, sometimes it's not okay. So I was very frustrated and overwhelmed. And especially when you face some challenges or you have some problems and you want to get advice from people, but instead of getting advice or getting help, I was given a very judgmental comment, which really frustrating. So since so many people tell me about different approach, they were telling me, okay, send your child to this class, send your child to that class. So I actually sent my elder boy to enrichment class at the age of 6 or 7 months. It's really young. Okay, so when you already pay the money, you expect the child will sit still and really concentrating throughout the whole class, the 1 hour class. So when it doesn't turn out that way, I was so frustrating. And also the stress of commuting with to and fro between classes. So I was telling myself, something must have went wrong, because when I feel frustrating, I really have a bad mood, and my relationship with my boy was really not that good. So because I have a high expectation on him, but in the other way, it didn't turn out to be what I expected. So one day I'm telling myself, probably I should do something about it. So that's why I do some research and I want to increase my parenting skill. That's why I have learned from a parenting coach, which I have followed her for 3.5 years now. So after that, I learned to see from a child's perspective. So I know why they are cranky, why they behave this way, and why they couldn't concentrate in class. You know, it's impossible for children to concentrate in class at a very young age. I didn't know that as a first-time mom during that time. So after that, my parenting journey has changed totally after I took up the course. I'm more aware of what I should do with my boy, and also I will intentionally create more appropriate activities for them. Since then, I have a happier and calmer children. Okay, now let's get started. Let's see what are the 3 strategies that we have to have a smart children who are happy and confident. Okay, the first strategies are creativity. How we can foster creativity at home to have a happy and resilient children. The second strategy is how to foster self-confidence at home, which is the key success factor for the children in future. And the third one will be fostering independence in children at home environment, which is a lifelong skill that they need to learn. Okay, today we are talking about the first strategies, creativity. So if I pull out from Google's, creativity means the use of the imagination or original ideas, especially in the production of artwork. But to me, creativity is more than that. Everyone is creative in their own way. A person might not be good in art or craft, but they are creative in another way. It's like for me, I'm not in particular good in art and craft, but I'm very creative in terms of cooking. I can mix and match different ingredients to come up with a dishes. This is how creative I am. And everyone is creative in their own way. Some people might be creative in how they dress. Some people might be creative in how they speak or how they communicate. This is very different from one person to another person. This is why we need to cultivate creativity in our children, which will make them more resilient and more thinking out of the box. So when the next morning I wanted to make the sandwich, only I realized that I don't have the mayonnaise. So I don't think I want to go to the shop and buy the mayonnaise again. So I go into the fridge and search through my fridge, and I found a Prego, which is a pasta sauce, and some honey. So I add in the Prego sauce and the honey, and I mix with the egg and the tuna, and it turned out well. So that's why I say a lot of times when you have problems, you just need to tweak a bit and be creative, and you can actually come with different solutions. This is what we want in our children. Okay, so why is creativity important? For me, creativity is important for us to solve a problem, which is a problem-solving skill. Problem-solving skill is a lifelong skill which we want our children to be. So I don't want my children to come to me to solve a small little things which they could have tried to solve themselves. So I want my children to have this trait, to have the ability to solve the problem themselves. But before they can do this, they need to have a creativity. Okay, so the second one is divergent thinking. Creativity is important to cultivate divergent thinking. What is divergent thinking? Divergent thinking is whereby you are thinking out of the box. When you have problems, you are not only thinking one way to solve the problem, but you are thinking in a multiple way to solve the problem. This is what we want in our children as well. Even though we adults, we are in a working environment, we know that how important it is to have a divergent thinking. So to have that in our children's mind, we really have to foster creativity at a very, very young age. Okay, so the last one I touched about is resilient. Resilient is whereby a person could come back to the original state or rebound back after a certain problem or certain setback and come back strong and good. Okay, so to have resilience, you need to have a very creative thinking as well. Why I say that? Because if you encounter some problems, you want to solve it, and if you are creative enough, you can have different way of solving the problem, which is why this is an important factor to have in resilience. So now, especially now, we have heard of so many suicide cases in Malaysia, in Singapore, whereby children or teenagers as young as 13 years old, 11 years old, they decided to end their life. Because for these children or this teenager, they are not resilient enough. They don't have the ability to solve problems in a different way. So to them, they encounter some setback. The only thing that they thought of is ending their life, which is not the best way to do. So that's why we really need to cultivate creativity for the children, because we need that for problem-solving skill, divergent thinking, and resilience. Okay, now let's see how we can have ways to foster creativity at a home environment. It is very, very easy. I practice these 3 methods at home with my boys, and they absolutely love it. The first is play. Play is a children's entitlement. They're entitled to play whatever they want. Okay, so what are play so important? Because play can actually cultivate creativity. You know what? There's different type of play. They have messy play, they have sensory play, they have pretend play, etc., etc., etc. So for me, these three play I particularly like, because for messy play, you really cultivate their creativity. Just recently, I posted in my Facebook page, I gave my boys 3 bottles of primary colors paint. I just gave it to them, and they decided they wanted to mix all the color together. So from there, they are learning as well, and they are also fostering creativity, because I did not tell them that what they should do with the paint, and they decided for themselves that they want to squeeze it on the floor and they just mess it around. Okay, so that's why I say messy play is really a very powerful play. Another one is sensory play. Sensory play is also very important, because children, especially young children, learn through sensory motor. Sensory motor is sensory and motor skill. So this is the 2 things that we need to focus on for very, very young children. Sensory play will actually stimulate the senses, and also some other activities which needed for motor skill. Okay, so the second ways that I always do is art and craft. You don't need to be the best artist to start at art and craft activities with your children. Art and craft activity is really, really easy, and I would say at a lower cost as well. You just prepare some crayon, color pencil, tons of papers, and please and also some easel, crayon, papers, and here you go, art and craft. Also some pom-pom, pipe cleaners, you can actually do it. Okay, so art and craft is really, really important, and also before you get started, you need to really find appropriate material for art and craft. Okay, the final one is good communication skill. In order to foster creativity, you really need to communicate with your children very, very often. Consistent communication. I'm talking about open-ended questions, because a lot of times, even myself, we tend to ask close-ended questions. For example, have you taken your dinner? This is a close-ended question. The child will say yes or no. Instead of asking this, you can actually say, what did you have for your dinner? Then your child might be saying, oh, I had a fried noodle for dinner. Then you can continue to ask, what is it inside the noodle? So the child might be saying that, oh, they have egg, they have vegetables, they have fish cake, etc., etc. So this actually will get their brain thinking and working, because if you answer yes or no, there's only 2 answers. When you ask open-ended questions, they need to think, what they eat. Noodles. What is it inside the noodles? Oh, there are vegetables, there are fish cake, there are egg inside. So this is a way. This is a way for them to communicate. So this is the way to foster creativity through effective communication, which is open-ended questions. And also, please give enough time when you want to communicate to them, when you want to let them play or art and craft, because time is really important. You can't be giving your child like art and craft, and you only give them like 10-15 minutes. By the time they have not finished, you want to clear it up, and this actually not stimulating enough. Okay, so today in this video we talk about the first strategies, which is cultivating creativity at a home environment to have a happy and resilient child. So in the next video, I'll touch about the second strategy, which is fostering self-confidence at home, which is the key success factor for children. Okay, thanks for watching. I'll see you again. Bye.